All right. So, yeah, blessed day to all of you. And yeah, just thank you so much for showing up and being here on our in our Sangha today. It's such an honor for me to be here. And yeah, if you don't know me, my name is Alexandra. I've been connected with Karina for like the past 5 years, as she's been a teacher and a mentor for me, and I've also been her virtual assistant for many years. So we've worked together quite a bit, and I'm currently also studying to be an embodied mindfulness mentor and coach under her right now. And yeah, I'm coming at you here from Big Bear, California. We just got a nice spring snowstorm overnight. So I'm bundled up here, as you can tell. And yeah, my background is I studied interior design for many years. So I'm a wellness home designer and also a pranayama teacher in training. So uh, kind of bringing all of that in together. And yeah, it's been a journey to get to this point in my life. And yeah, overcoming a lot of self doubt. And so, this topic today, freedom from perfectionism, is something that I've become very close to in my own life, and just overcoming those areas of self doubt. So, yeah, as we'll begin to explore today, the hindrance of doubt, which is a lens that we can look through perfectionism through Buddhist psychology, is the hindrance of doubt. So, we will be exploring that. And you know, I am sure this topic, all of you are here because you have experienced or are experiencing just, yeah, that hindrance of doubt in striving for perfectionism. So, if your journey has been similar to mine, it's, feelings of high insecurity and lack of confidence and inadequacy and falling short and just an overall frustration with your life and where it might be. Um, and not trusting where your life might be going. So through our talk today, my hope and goal is that we find a little more ease in our journey, and we are able to just settle in and just trust our inner intuition a little bit more and let go of the burden of perfectionism. So yeah, just know you're all not alone in this journey. And it's just, again, such an honor to be here and guiding our Sangha today. And it's wonderful, yeah, to meet you all. Hi, Chase. Hi, Joan. Welcome. Um, Wonderful. So, with that being said, we'll go ahead and just start with a little guided meditation just to settle into our space, check in with where we're at, where our terrain on the inner, uh, yeah, our inner terrain. So if it's comfortable for you, you can go ahead and close your eyes. If not, just a soft gaze looking down in front of you, not really focusing on anything in particular, but just beginning to collect our awareness and our attention within our bodies, giving yourself permission to really just be here and fully arrive, allowing any expectations of our time together to, yeah, fade away into the background, allowing whatever your morning was like to be in the past and whatever day you have ahead to be in the future, and just really focusing on the present moment here. And a good tool to use to focus on the present moment or arrive in the present moment is the breath, the sensations of the breath. So just sensing, yeah, your inhales coming in through the nose, maybe expanding the belly and the chest. And on the exhales, the breath coming out of the nostrils. And sense a settling in the body, gentle release. And really arriving in your body. And when we allow ourselves to come into this space and switch our awareness from the external environment to the internal environment, It really allows us to gather and settle all of our energy into one collected space. This is where our wealth of abundance lives, and where we can really pull from and draw from is just this collected energy that comes into the body and settles. It's almost like you can imagine a cup of water with like a cloudiness in it, and over time all that sediment just settles to the bottom, allowing the water to become clear again. And that's kind of what we're doing right now, is collecting the energy that's been so scattered, and it might be a little clouded right now, might feel a little messy. That's okay, just allowing the energy to settle into your body deeper and deeper into your belly, allowing the heart to just feel a little open, noticing if it feels a little tight here. Coming back to the breath when you notice that you've attached to any thought process. Just allow the thoughts to be there. Yeah, just coming to notice what the mental terrain might be like today. Might feel a little scattered, or might feel a little calm today. And just noticing as the observer here. Allowing yourself to feel supported by the ground beneath you, whether you're, yeah, sitting in a chair, sitting on the ground, just really allowing and inviting a feeling of support that's always with you. You may call to mind or allow the attention to emerge from within you of, yeah, what it is you're looking to receive from our time together today. You're not searching for the intention, rather just allowing it to arise from within. We'll take a few more deep breaths here, allowing that intention to, yeah, just kind of fill your body here, kind of attracting that to our time together today. Mm. Gently bring the awareness just to the layer of your skin that surrounds your body, beginning to sense the space that you're in. And you can gently begin to open your eyes and take in the space around you. And when you're ready, you can all meet back into our Zoom room, our virtual Sangha here. Wonderful. So, yeah, if you want to pop in the chat what your intention is for our time together today, I would love to, yeah, just know what it is you're looking to receive. We can kind of collectively come to an intention together as well. Yeah, Ruth, to become less scattered, more centered into my body. Absolutely. Joan, acceptance of imperfection. Yes, yes, may it be so. Melissa, return to myself and continue to let go of ideas of perfectionism. Absolutely. Alan, reining in my type A personality and perfection nature. Yes. Yes. Thank you for sharing that. Chase, why is nothing ever correct for myself? Yeah, we'll really be exploring all of this today. Good. Thank you so much for sharing your intentions, everybody. Yeah, and my intention too is to kind of provide a little bit of hope that we can release the burden of perfectionism. Yeah, Candace, be still. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so as we move into our talk portion of today, I just want to just remind you that whatever I say that resonates, take that with you, and whatever I say that doesn't resonate, just let it go. And just listen to your intuitive guidance, and if something stands out to you, just allow that to really sink in and take that with you through the rest of the day, the rest of the week. And yeah, just apply it into your life. So oh, Diana, Chase, not Chase. Yeah, thank you for clarifying. And okay, so I feel like it's only natural place to start up to kind of define perfectionism. And like, what really is it? Is it something that we can actually attain? And so yeah, perfectionism can be defined as the need to be or appear perfect, or even to believe that it's possible to achieve perfection. And it's the tendency to demand of others or of oneself an extremely high or even flawless level of performance in excess of what is actually required. So, that's a pretty high demand. And it's something that we actually are unable to attain. It's not something that you can grasp or ever really reach, because it's perfectionism is like idealism. It's the highest potential that we can see for ourselves, and that is continually growing as we grow. So it's like, as we're growing, that idea of perfectionism, that idea of our potential is always growing. So it's not something that we can ever reach and we get to. And so it really is a high demand and a high burden for us to kind of attach into this idea that things can always be perfect. And it provides a lot of space for us to feel less than, or that we're never getting there, or that, yeah, it's like, if we can't attain it, we're not good enough. And so that's really something that we're going to be unpacking today, is yeah, like, how can we begin to unattach from that idea of perfectionism and really begin to embody the enoughness that's already within us. And in that wealth of enoughness that is within us, we are more able to live in a place that we feel like, oh yeah, things are working out for me, and there's always room for growth. And so it's really, yeah, just allowing ourselves to settle into a place to gain more confidence, because striving for perfection will only continue to deplete our vital energy. And that's the energy that we, need to keep growing. And so it's kind of this dynamic game that we are constantly needing to, check with ourselves. And it really begins with being aware of how our inner critic, how our mind is attaching to those ideas of perfection, because they show up across the board, in little ways. And the more that we practice, the more we realize how subtle, it's just like the layers. We start to unpeel and unpack the layers of, yeah, this protective mechanism really that we've, you know, built around ourselves to stay safe, to not take risks, to protect ourselves from being judged by others, to be accepted. There's so many ways that um, yeah, we've built these walls around ourselves and from ourselves as well to not really see our own truth. And we do live in a society that pushes heavy consumerism, that sells the next best thing, that if we don't have this, we're not good enough, or if we don't do this, we're not good enough, we're not going to fit in. And so it's not our faults that we attach to these ideas of perfectionism, but it is a product of the structure of society, and also you know peers growing up, like having adverse childhood experiences. There's just so many layers to this that we can begin to just gently unpack and peel away, and yeah, begin to just reveal that wealth of abundance and that wealth of being good enough just as you are. And it's like being more vulnerable and honest with yourself as well. That's really like begin to turn inward and allow ourselves to see who we truly are, and begin to get to know who we truly are, so we can embrace that, and and not doubt ourselves so much. We begin to trust our inner intuition. So um yeah, it's perfectionism is really driven by these internal pressures that we put on ourselves. So it's like we put up these walls to feel validated from the external environment. But yeah, letting go of the ideas of perfectionism really it stems from accepting who we are fully as ourselves. And so we begin to not care so much about the external environments, the circumstances that may be presented to us. And it's more this, we settle into ourselves, and we begin to feel more stable and more secure, more confident, the more that we practice with this inner dialogue and this awareness. And yeah, so the practice of mindfulness is really a great tool for this, because it really does take a level of awareness to notice those thoughts of inner criticism, and oh, this should have been this way, or it should have happened this way, or like and we attach to these certain ways of doing things, and it makes us really like rigid, and we and like opinionated, this state of being of needing it to be a certain way for us to feel okay. um and so it's being aware of those inner judgments, and also just bringing a level of compassion to ourselves for that, and dropping the judgments for having those thoughts. And that's a practice all on its own too, so it's like having the awareness of it, right? That's the first step, is the consistent practice to build awareness. And then from the awareness can come frustration, because you're so aware of it, but you're like, oh, but nothing's changing, I'm just aware of it. And and so that's the next layer of the onion, so to speak, is meeting that frustration of being so aware, and holding space for that frustration, because that really is the way, um, to the just to get more subtle into the practice, to get to the deeper layers of what is underneath all of it, because perfectionism is like the outer layer, right? And so there's layers underneath. And yeah, we just begin to kind of move to the center of our being underneath all these layers of untruth that have built throughout our lives. Because the truth within us is just, it's so potent. And when we can really find the stability in that place, in the center of ourselves, you can just live with so much more ease and grace. And personal example of me leading this talk today, it's just been so cool to notice the merits of my own mindfulness practice, because years ago I would have been freaking out leading up to this, like heart beating super fast, like having just total nervous system dysregulation. um all the while knowing that like, yes, this is an amazing opportunity. Like I've been asking for this, like just from the universe of like providing this opportunity to like step into this place, but all the while freaking out and like just there's a disconnect in the past. But leading up to this talk, it's just, yeah, the practice of mindfulness, just being so aware of my process. It's like, wow, I've just been so easeful and just so trusting of whatever needs to come through will come through, and coming from this place of service and not performance. I think that's a really big shift too. And just the ideas of perfectionism, they come from this idea of needing to perform a certain way or have this like, you know, just show up in a way where it's like, if you do good enough, you are good enough, you know, kind of thing. And so really just coming from a place of service and stability. And so, you know, it's just, it is possible to come from a place of more stability within yourself and not being so attached to the outcome. Um, and that's a really beautiful place to get to. And then I don't want to like to get to, it's not like you're not trying to achieve it, but just to be able to settle into yourself and like experience that for yourself is amazing, and it's possible, and it just takes consistent practice and like a willingness as well, like a willingness in your mind to question your own doubt, to question these feelings of, you know, being not being good enough. It's like there's hindering doubt, and then there's questioning the doubt. You know, hindering doubt really it it holds us back from really moving forward, whereas questioning doubt is the way through. Like questioning the doubt, just a willingness to like, like, is this doubt really true? Like, is this doubt really going to help me in, you know, moving forward in my life and growing? Um, and so, like, perfectionism and doubt can really be like an obsession almost. It's like something that we're holding on to. And that having that ideal, it really leaves no space for what is actually happening in the moment. And so we actually miss out on what is here and the wealth of opportunity that literally is available to us in this moment. And it's, and that's just, to me, that's like a, you know, it's a sad thing that happens because we go through our whole lives living in the past of how things should have been, or looking to the future of like, oh, I'm not good enough, I need to get there before I'm happy. But there's this beautiful space that lies right in the middle of it all, that we, it's if we're attached to these ideas of perfectionism, we really do miss out on life as it's happening. And our bodies tend to tense up in that state too when we're like not feeling good enough. And so the practice of mindfulness too allows us to observe the body sensations too, and we could recognize the body sensations almost before the thoughts. Sometimes it's like, oh, like my body's starting to really tense up, like let me just take a breath, come into my body, like observe what's happening right now, like what do I need most right now. And to have that kind of self inquiry and compassion for yourself and love for yourself. And yeah, so just allowing the mind to be curious, right, in that self inquiry process, because it's, nothing's right or wrong, nothing's good or bad what's going on with you. It's just, it is what it is, and it's happening right now. um and Alan, yeah, maybe it's the difference between doubt and curiosity. Yeah. And you know, doubt and curiosity, it's, that is it's like we need contrast to guide us in our practice as well, right? If we didn't have doubt, it, we wouldn't know where the friction lies, where the block lies in our process. And so when the doubt arises, it's a sign that, oh, there's something here, like let's be curious to investigate this a little bit deeper. And in that process of investigation of, yeah, wanting to, what's underneath this, um it emerges, because it's like everything that we are seeking is already seeking us, you know, it's already within us. And so if we can just, yeah, begin to drop in with more ease and allow there to be more space for creative flow and not attaching to how it should be or how you think it should be, there's this really beautiful dynamic that starts to happen is it literally just arises from within you. Like the answers are already in you. And it comes down to deep surrender and a lot of trust in that surrender process too. Um, and most of the times when we can just surrender and trust, what we were seeking is right there already. It's just like that layer of fear and doubt, and it's just softening the edges. It's a practice of just continually to soften the edges, peel back the layers, and start to discover what's really beneath all of that untruth of perfectionism. And we all have our own stories, and our own unique journeys that have brought us here. And it's like this underlying thread though that we all can relate on is trust and surrender and ease and grace, and coming from a place that we don't get distracted by our story. The story is what it is, but we let that go. We don't attach to the story. We kind of move out of that like victim mentality in a way and just, I can just let this go. Like allow this wealth of opportunity that's in me to be here. And so with yeah, and so with the practice of allowing the doubt to be there, it's like flipping the script almost of not seeing doubt as a negative thing. It's actually it's just simply an obstructive mind state, right? And we don't see it as bad. It's just an obstructive mind state, and it can be seen as an opportunity to deepen our practice. Really, it's an opportunity to develop more mindfulness, more concentration and understanding, and a sense of non-clinging too, which are a lot of the practices that Karina has taught about recently. And so what is in the way in the form of resistance really is the way to liberating oneself from resistance. So when that resistance arises, it is the way, even though it feels counterintuitive. And the more that we resist the resistance, the stronger the resistance gets. So it's this interesting dynamic, that we work with. And the more that we can just settle into our mindfulness practice, set up a consistent practice for ourselves that is sustainable, we recognize the subtleties of that. And it is, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. And also too, it's important, I think, to reflect on how far you've already come in your life. Because so often with the ideas of perfectionism, we're striving for this future idea consistently, or thinking how things should be. But it's like in reflection of like really recognizing how much growth and how much you've already accomplished and done in your life to get to here, how much you've overcome to get to here. That's something that's often overlooked. And it's like if we can bring our awareness back to right now and really recognize how far we've already come. Like life is not easy. We've all been through a lot of challenges. It's part of the journey of life, and without challenges we really don't grow. And so starting to see the challenges as opportunities for growth, not something that's holding you back, but that is the way that we grow and learn. And so I would just encourage you to just sit and reflect on the things that you've already accomplished and how far you've already come, how much you've already grown. It's so easy to overlook. And just open your heart to begin embracing your uniqueness, the things that make you different from everybody else. It's like looking out in nature. It's like nothing is the same, nothing is repeated, and we find so much beauty in that, right? And it's like where does that shift happen with ourselves and humanity? Like where is it that we need to fit into these certain boxes and not embrace who we truly are, because the moment that you embrace who you truly are, there's so many people that are like, wow, like inspired by that to be who they are. And so it's just this ripple effect that ends up, moving outwards. And, when we're stuck in this hindrance of doubt, it's we're secluding ourselves from ourselves and all of our relationships. We're not able to access them as deeply, and just we're not able to live life as deeply as, you know is available to us truly in the moment. And so yeah, it's just this delayering and a constant practice. Yeah, Marlene, the more you resist the resistance, the stronger the resistance gets. Yes, it's so true. And you know it's like the first time I heard that, I was like, I don't know if I understand that, like, but it's the practice of mindfulness, right, of just meeting the resistance. And it's like, okay, let's be curious to move towards this resistance. And then all of a sudden it's like it just begins to fade away, and it's like, oh, there's something here for me. Like there's something here for me. um and yeah, so just it's the awareness of the resistance and the curiosity to explore that. um and yeah, so mindfulness is of course a practice. It's never going to be perfect, right? Because practice makes progress. I do not like the saying practice makes perfect, because nothing is perfect. Things just are as they are in their imperfection. They are enough as they are in their imperfection. And that's what makes them beautiful. I mean, imagine if we were all exactly the same, we would be robots. And that's like how boring that would be. um, and so it's a practice of just allowing the inner critical voice to soften and feed the intuitive voice more. So that voice, that inner voice, your inner wisdom that's already there, has just become so quiet because of the attachment to these ideas, right? And so we begin to just switch that dynamic. Trust that inner voice a little bit more. That inner voice becomes louder. And so it becomes actually harder to believe those doubtful thoughts. The more that we drop into our intuitive voice, it takes more energy to hook in to those thoughts of untruth. And so it is just this practice of kind of flipping the script. And like, yeah, it is a practice and it takes time. um but it just brings so much more ease into your life, and just a wealth of well-being, regulating your nervous system, which, I'm sure all of us can relate to the knowing of just the overstimulation and the distraction. It's hard for our nervous systems to re-regulate. And it can take time for, yeah, our minds to soften a little bit, to experience this well-being that's within. And yeah, just, I mean, who doesn't want to feel more firm and stable within their own bodies? I mean, it's what we're all striving for in perfection, you know, but it's already within us, so just we can release the burden of that striving, of that perfection. We really can. And like, just how good that would feel to not have that burden of just striving for something that really is unattainable. So just, it's like reminding yourself, like, oh yeah, like this idea of perfection, it's not something I can ever get to. Like, I am enough as I am. Let me just remember that and drop in. And see where in your body, what emotions might need tending to, like where you feel like you're falling short, and like where that's stemming from. um and so yeah, it's I just encourage you to, yeah, set up like a consistent practice for yourself of mindfulness, whether it's 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, just any time that you can set for yourself that is sustainable. If you need, accountability buddy, if you need, more accountability in terms of like having a coach, some support that you can be accountable to, and begin to build confidence in yourself with that commitment too. Because the more that we honor commitments that are sustainable for ourselves, the more confidence we build in ourselves for doing that one thing every day. And then over time, we begin to notice, like, oh, like I'm becoming a lot more aware of this thing, and it's becoming a lot easier to not be so attached and just let it go. Right. And so the practice is the way to, yeah, release the burden of perfectionism, and just the realization that you are enough. Like everything, like I said, everything you are seeking is already seeking you. And I love that feeling, that just saying that, it's just, oh yeah, like it's already in me. Like I can just let this go and just feel that groundedness within me. Um, so something Jack Cornfield said, I like the way that he brings us to the table. O nobly born, the Buddhist texts begin. Remember your Buddha nature. Remember your innate capacity for dignity, understanding, and vast compassion. These gifts were born into you. Discover how the beautiful qualities of Buddha nature can become alive for you in your heart and the way you live. So, yeah, it's just like just a softening. Wherever you're at is as it is, and just becoming the observer of that and allowing what is to be, not trying to change it, right? Because that's when we get attached to the idea of like, oh, am I always better than the divine operation? And it's like we have no power over the process of the divine operation, right? It's like we can tune into our own internal state, but in terms of circumstances outside of ourselves, we don't have control over. And it's just letting that control go, and you'll realize how much more energy you have once we just let that attachment go to anything outside of ourselves. So yeah, I'm going to read a little poem before we head into our practice of mindfulness, and just, yeah, like this practice of releasing the burden of perfectionism. So if you'd like to close your eyes to just receive these words, you can feel free to do that. But just, yeah, allow your belly and your heart to be open to receive these words, and take whatever resonates with you. And this poem is by someone anonymous. I'm not sure who it's written by, but I just found it really, really beautiful. Healing is not something to be found, something to be done, something to learn. It's a long cry, a gentle silence, a dance in the rain, a plunge in the ocean, or a sway in the wind. It's beneath a tree here long before me. It's a complete destruction, a dismantle of form, a release of all ideas, a surrendered heart that parts my lips but captures me speechless, that shakes me dry and strips me naked, lost to be found, caught to be freed, releasing the fear, asking the question, giving the love, when there is literally nothing to be had, because the mother holds us beneath our very feet, made of dust combined with dirt, to compost the programs, beliefs, and limitations, anything that keeps us from wholeness, for you, for me, for us, for we. So yeah, if you haven't already closed your eyes, you can go ahead and do that, or just get yourself in a position to sit for a little while here as we enter our mindfulness practice. And yeah, this practice is for us to feel and experience the truth of the way things are for yourself, and sensing that nothing is missing and that you truly are enough as you are. Yeah, so just establishing a connection to your breath again here. And again, giving yourself the permission of settling into this space as you are. And coming to the center of your being, and then the center of that center, wherever you intuitively land, that is right for you. As we drop into that space that dwells within you, we begin to create more space between the thinking mind and the intuitive mind. So the intuitive mind is a mind, it's an inner knowing that already knows. Or the thinking mind, it's like constantly grasping at all these different areas. You can almost imagine, a bunch of cups, and there's one cup in the middle that is you. It's your body, it's your vessel, and it's filled to the top with water. And the water represents your energy. And when we can collect our energy into this one cup, it begins to just overflow and outpour into all the other cups and areas of our lives. But it only overflows when our energy is collected in this one cup, settled at the bottom, right? And it's like our thinking mind, it's that represents like all the other cups. And when we're trying to grasp at all these different areas of our lives and try to become this perfect being, our energy is actually depleting, trying to grasp and reach out into all the other cups. So all these cups are just, quarter full, an eighth full, half full, and then your main cup within yourself is just continually depleting and depleting and depleting. And so the practice of mindfulness is to collect all of that energy into this sacred vessel that you dwell in and become the observer of all of these happenings within, whether it's any sensations of the body that are arising, being aware of the terrain of the mental landscape too. It's, we can observe if there's just constant stream of thoughts going and going and going. We just sit with it, we be with it, because eventually it'll settle. Eventually, moving through the resistance of all of those thoughts, you will begin to settle. And when we notice that we've attached to the past or thoughts of the future, that is okay. That's going to happen. We just gently let it go and remember to just come back to the breath, to anything that's happening in the present moment in your body, any sensations. And we just be with it. Having the curiosity to observe. Just, oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting thought, or that's an interesting feeling. And then allowing it to pass. And so it's, as we move through this process, you may have already noticed a sense of judgment of, am I doing this right? I'm not doing it good enough, or yesterday's meditation was better than today. And just being aware of that, having compassion for yourself and letting those go, right? Returning to the breath and sensations. So the self-inquiry right now to challenge any doubt that may be arising is, especially with perfectionism, we can even doubt our own practices, our own ability for our practices. So just inquire with this question: What would it be like if I just dropped these doubts? If I let go of the burden of perfectionism, and if I just practiced? So, what would it be like to just drop the burden of perfectionism? You may sense what that feels like in your body. You may even sense like a weight lifted, noticing what that feels like in the body. And so I imagine that for some of you, this process feels easeful and peaceful to like sense that burden letting go. And I also imagine that for some of you, it may bring up more judgment and more resistance of letting the idea of perfectionism go. And just hold that part of yourself that is feeling that doubt and resistance. Allow there to be space for those judgments and that frustration, whatever is rising for you in resistance. Just holding space for that, breathing space into that. And you may notice that various parts of your life, when you imagine or want to imagine a brighter, lighter version of yourself, the seemingly opposite feelings such as anger or sadness may arise. And take these as signs that your heart truly is softening and it's revealing what has been held there. And so simply just direct more compassion and loving kindness to that space, to those feelings arising, and honoring your process. Because only you truly know what is best for you. And it's a process of discovering what that means to you, what it means to care for yourself, what it means to be curious, to get to know who you truly are, and to trust in that, trusting your inner wisdom. And trusting that you don't need to live up to these expectations from the external world and even the expectations that we place on ourselves. Trusting that we can let that go. So, these next few minutes, we'll go ahead and just sit in silence and practice this self observation and depth exploration of allowing yourself to be curious of what is right now. Remember that every opportunity is an opportunity to begin again. You can always begin again. And so as an experiment, we'll go ahead and practice a few phrases of metta, of loving kindness to ourselves. And as you silently repeat this in your mind, allow yourself and your whole body to feel this invitation that it is true, to just embody these feelings. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. And when I say with ease, it means may the day-to-day living be without so much struggle. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease. Take a big deep breath in, really allowing the energy of those words to fill all of your cells, all your entire body. And exhaling, just releasing any weight, any tension that may be left in your body here. Just taking a few more deep breaths here. And just beginning to, reorient to your space once again. Just moving slowly, staying very connected to your inner space, and simultaneously allowing your eyes to take in the outer space. And on your own time, we'll all reorient to our Sangha here. Wonderful. How was that meditation for you? Feeling nice and easeful, a little more peace in your bodies. Maybe it brought up some more resistance.
That was awesome. Amazing.
Good, good. Thank you for sharing, Candace. Good. Anybody else care to share how that experience of the meditation was? Melissa, amazing. Thank you. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And thank you for trusting yourself to go deep inside and be soothed. Thank you, Marlene. Very soothing. Good. Yeah, so as we, you know, continue our practice, Diana, peace is a space that is a gem itself. It is absolutely, absolutely peaceful. Thank you, Joan. Melissa, feeling more at peace and ease, choosing to move through today with more ease. Yes, yes. And like I was saying, every opportunity is a chance to begin again. So we can always choose to invite more ease into our experience. It is a choice. And it's not a forceful choice, it's a choice of surrender, right? And so just trusting that process too. So yeah, just play around with the possibility of embracing an uncomplaining and all acceptance part of yourself. And just, yeah, allow yourself to feel the feelings of becoming free from perfectionism, because it is possible. Just little by little we chip away, we peel back those layers. And like, Suzuki Roshi says, you are perfect just as you are, and there is still room for improvement. And that's just, we never get there. It's like I said in the beginning, it's a constant growth. As we grow, our potential and ideas of perfectionism grow. So it's not something we ever attain, but it's a trajectory. So it provides direction. It's like, oh, I would like to embody these things. What can I do now to feel and embody those qualities that I'm looking to experience? So yeah, I'd love to know your biggest takeaway from today, if you feel like sharing that. And uh, yeah, yeah, what's your biggest takeaway, or something that resonated with you, or an insight that might have popped in from our talk and meditation?
Everything is here.
Mm, yes, yes, it is. Thank you, Candace. Diana, perfection of self was also put onto others. Wow, yes. Yeah, yeah, when we hold on to those ideas of perfectionism for ourselves, we tend to hold those high expectations of others too. Good realization. Thank you for sharing that. Alan, remembering that letting go to expectation in a continued action. Yeah, it is a continuous action. Yeah, and the
Is
remembering.
a continued action, but yeah, that's same thing.
Oh, yeah. Got you. Yeah. And it is a process of remembering. We're always forgetting and remembering, forgetting and remembering. It's just, right? It's part of it. Yeah. Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Marlene, the more you resist the resistance, the stronger the resistance gets. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one. Thank you, Marlene. Yeah. Yeah, and I just thank you all so much for being here today and showing up for yourselves and for our Sangha. um you know yeah, Karina's intention with me being here is so we can all continue to come together on Tuesdays when she's not available, just to, yeah, keep meeting and getting these weekly practices together. And you're welcome, Melissa. Yeah, and I just am so grateful for all of you for being here and for being receptive to what our topic was. And yes, namaste, Joan. And always, if you feel called to send in a donation, they're always appreciated, never expected. I can put my Venmo link in the chat box here. Let me see. So that is my Venmo. And if you want to stay connected with me directly, my email, I will put that in the chat as well, spiritwoodscollective@gmail.com. And, I can imagine this, might not be my last time being here and moving forward. But yeah, Karina will be back next week. So look forward to her returning after her lovely silent meditation retreat this week. I'm sure it's nourishing her right up in the ways that she needs to. And so, yeah, as we close, I just want to offer, may the merits of our practice just extend beyond our own lives and ripple out into all the lives that we touch, because it really, the things that we learn and bring out into the world, it really does create a ripple effect out. And so, always remembering that we're responsible for the energy that we bring into the world, and doing these practices not only benefit ourselves so immensely, but also all the lives we touch. So, yeah, I just thank you for doing the true inner work. And yeah, feel free to connect with me if you have any questions about the talk today. uh, yeah, I appreciate you all, and I look forward to being with you all again soon. Mhm.